welcome to a special Albums of the Year edition of the new and improved Dying Scene Radio. Yeah. With me as always in a quest to cover all things punk rock is my buddy Bob. Say hello to the nice listeners, Bob.
Hola, mi amigos.
Excellent flair. I like the little TL day you put on that.
Thanks.
I don't even know if that's a real word.
I don't either.
Burrito Baño Roja Nalgas.
Let's just stop.
That's all my Spanish. Frijoles.
Yeah, just stop.
Our opening track for this episode was Writer's Block, brought to you by German melodic hardcore act Shirley Depressed from their newest full-length Rust, which ended up falling just shy of making my top 10 list, but it did land on the honorable mention list.
Yeah.
So, as we mentioned earlier, this is our annual Albums of the Year special. At the end of the year, all of the Dying Scene staffers put together their top 10 albums of the year. Mm-hmm. It's really popular with the readers. We always get a lot of really good feedback, and we also get kicked in the nuts a ton for leaving shit off. We get tons of flack. And, you know, I think I probably didn't catch too much this year, but I think it's because I'm so charming.
Yeah, and it's also because you use words like flack. I think people don't want to interact with you.
What do you mean flack? That's a common word.
If you are 80 years old, sure.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm closing in on that.
We're getting flack.
You're a fucker. So we here at Dying Scene Radio, we aren't exempt from the rules. So Bob Aran and I put together lists of our own. And I can guarantee you without a doubt that mine is going to be mounds better than Bob's.
Okay. I will disagree with that. And
I'm sure you will, because you've got horrible taste.
We'll see. We'll let the listeners chime in or weigh in on this.
Look, I think that's a great idea. I challenge the listeners to vote on whose top 10 list was better.
Okay.
Mine or Bob's. I can get. It's not even going to be a fucking contest. Actually, don't do that. You're going to embarrass Bob.
No, you know what? Loser buys the next 6-pack of beer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still owe you.
You're fucking on.
Yeah. All right, listeners, you have been tasked with telling us whose list is better. It's mine, by the way. Just go ahead and write AB.
We'll see.
One of my favorite things about making these lists every year is Dave kind of limits us to 10. He puts us in a box, that bastard. So he always makes us put 10 on there, and it always has to be LPs. It can't be EPs. But you always have this large list, and you always got to narrow it down. So there's this great leftover group of near misses or honorable mentions, albums that just barely missed making the list. Hell, fucking a few of mine could have been on the list or could have been, you know, swapped with some that did make the list. But that's kind of my favorite thing, seeing kind of the leftovers, and not in a bad way, because fucking leftovers are great, right?
Leftover crack.
Leftover crack, indeed. How do you go about choosing your top 10, man?
Oh, man. So this is my first year ever doing a top 10 list like this. I never put myself to the task before. I've never had a reason to. So, I mean, really, there were just a few albums that floated to the top automatically, and those are, you know, my top 3 or 4 albums right away. I mean, they've just been on repeat throughout the year. So the rest of them, I had so many albums that I'd been listening to throughout the year. I ended up just putting a bunch of them in a playlist. There was like 200 or 300 songs that ended up being in a playlist. I threw the playlist on shuffle, and I just listened to it for like a month straight. And I was every time I'd hear a song that I really, really enjoyed or that was like familiar, that I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, this song again. I'd look at my phone, I'd write it down, and that ended up, you know,
that was your list.
it ended up cutting out a lot of the crap out of the list. There were a lot of bands that I put in there that I'm like, you know what? I didn't write down any of these bands. Like, you know, I guess I really don't like it that much. I like the sound of it or the idea of it or whatever. And then, so from there, I threw those 10, 15 albums on repeat, and I ordered them and figured out what I enjoyed.
It's very organized.
I suppose so. I don't know. That's how I figured it out.
I'm telling you, I threw darts at a dartboard. I just wrote some names of some albums.
Closed your eyes, spun around in a circle.
More or less.
There you go.
Yep.
All right.
No, I don't even really have any logic to how I choose. I do like to have a large variety. I don't like to have all of the same stuff that sounds, you know, one album from the other. You can't really tell too much of a difference. So that's kind of how I feel in general. You know, I already kind of categorize myself and limit myself to just punk music. So once I get inside that genre, I tend to spread out a little bit farther than a lot of people, and I listen to everything from folk punk to Celtic punk, and that kind of carries over in my list. So I have a lot of variety. I like to have a menagerie of music.
A menagerie?
A menagerie, not a menage a trois, Bob. Get your mind out of the gutter.
What is a menagerie?
I believe the literal definition is a large collection or assortment of animals, but as most words do, it's evolved to include a large variety of anything. In this case, it's a menagerie of music. In this case,
you picked that up.
Are
days growing up on the farm.
Intolerable.
Me and my menagerie.
You're an asshole. Let's talk about our honorable mentions, you dick. There was probably about 5 or 6 honorable mentions, and it's honorable. That's a tough word.
Honorable.
I'm sorry. Honorable.
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 Honorable. Honorable.
I don't know what you're saying.
Honorable. Honorable.
I think you're trying to say honorable.
Shut up!
Can we call it something else? Honorable mentions. I had a lot of really well-known bands on there that just ended up not making my list because I think of the nature of what we do. We listen to up-and-coming emerging artists, so they end up getting played a lot more on our playlist.
Agreed.
And thus we end up losing bands like 88 Fingers Louie. 88 Fingers Louie, who came out with their first album in 10, 12, 15, 20, 50 years, something like that.
I think it was around 15.
Yeah, it's been forever. But they released Thank You for Being a Friend this year. The only reason really it didn't make my list is because it's a little bit too much of the familiar sound, old school sound, not a lot of progression, but when you consider the gap in between their last releases, it kind of makes sense. You don't want to shock people.
Yeah, I feel like that's what you would hope for in a band releasing an album after 15 years. You
Absolutely.
want them to become like an acoustic act or like fucking...
Yeah, or come back and be like Crust, D-Beat.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I'm totally fine with it, and I spun that album 20, 30 times this year. So excellent job. I love having them back. Just not quite enough of a difference in sound style to make my list. What about you? What else did you have on your honorable mentions?
My honorable mentions include the Fullers album.
My lips are tied, but my feet keep moving forward. My eyes are drooping, but they don't need to see. I know directions, no my place, no VVS.
The Fullers album. We
New Jersey fucking punks.
Yeah.
Yes.
We played them earlier this year. One of their songs from their album Kingdom by the Sea.
Yes.
And that was a really great album. It was an honorable mention because, you know what? It just wasn't tight enough for me. It was a little bit loose feeling. I feel like not the sound quality. I like some of the lo-fi stuff. I don't need it to be perfect, but some of the music just felt a little bit loose. Some of the songs were super tight, but at any rate, I really look forward to whatever they're going to bring us next. It was an awesome album.
Absolutely. You can't go wrong with Jersey punk, man.
Yeah.
And there was 4 or 5 songs on that album that were just fucking incredible.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to hear more. You know they're going to clean it up, and they're only going to get better.
Yep. So another one, it came out on I think December 1st or December 2nd, which is why we postponed the show a little bit, because I insisted that we include the December releases.
I wanted this episode to air 2 weeks ago, and Bob threw a fit. He got his panties in a wad.
Dude, so everybody put out their top 10 albums of the year at the beginning of fucking December. But what about the bands who are putting out albums in December?
Well, what about the people that don't want to work the second half of December?
I mean, I'm just saying, look, there are bands that got missed over from December 2016, okay?
I agree.
And so I wanted to push it a little later so I could look at some of these bands. And you know what? One of them made the list. One of them didn't. Of Love. of Love released their second LP called Greatest Hits Volume 2. It's their second album, and so they're calling their second album their Greatest Hits Volume 2. It's a fucking great name.
You guys got a big old swinging dick. I love that.
It's hilarious.
Second
It's awesome.
album, Greatest Hits Volume 2.
It's awesome.
Well played.
Listen to the album. It's a little bit grungy. It's got some lo-fi recording quality to it. It's really great. Also, Hard Girls. Hard Girls Floating Now, that made my honorable mentions. Sam Coffey and the Iron Lungs, their second self-titled album, I believe.
How's that work?
I have no idea, but that was a good album there. I think Rancid has 2 self-titled albums.
I wouldn't doubt it.
They've got like a 91 and 2000 self-titled. At any rate, Sam Coffey and the Iron Lungs, they've got a sort of a classic rock feel to them mixed with some punk rock. That was good. And the Deforesters, Leonard.
Feels like a lifetime since I set out on my own, and maybe it's just been so long.
The Deforesters, Leonard.
Yes.
These are some of my top albums.
Deforesters. Oh my God, they're an incredible band.
Yes.
Look, the only reason they didn't make my list at all is because a lot of the songs from Leonard, the LP, were from an EP. I think it might have been released last year in 2016.
Yep.
But I docked them a little bit of points for that. I'm really petty. I'm a petty asshole.
It's understandable.
Oh.
Yeah.
I feel really bad.
Well, what about you? What were some of your other honorable mentions?
Well, like I said, there's a lot of more well-known bands that made the list. Hot Water Music, incredible album, Never Going Back. Fantastic writing. You gotta love the blue-collar kind of mentality of those guys and sticking around for as long as they have. But again, when you have to choose between them and a band like Nothington, which is a very similar genre, Nothington's going to win out in my book just because they're a little less well-known, and we'll get to them later. Because was that a spoiler alert? Should I spoiler alert? Rewind it. No, we also had Rancid on the list. Another one that great album. It's just not quite as divergent as I would have liked.
Yeah, and you know what? When you have to compare it to And Out Come the Wolves or Life Won't Wait, I mean, 2 classic punk rock albums, pinnacle albums, it just... There's nothing you can do about that. Had they not come out with those albums, I mean, maybe this would be a number 1, but they did. And so you got to compare it against that.
And that was really the only problem with it, is it sounded familiar.
Yeah.
And a new album shouldn't.
Yep. I hear you.
So, but well played, and I can't wait for the next one. I'm just as stoked for the next Rancid album.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to hear more. I really like that they put out a video series where they played all of the songs live in the garage.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
That was cool.
That won them some points and actually moved them up into the honorable mentions.
Yeah, you have a lot of big bands in there. I had a few big bands too. Glassjaw's Material Control was one that was really great. But you know what? Like you said, like when you have to choose between some well-known bands or some lesser-known bands, you got to pick the lesser-known. So
I think so.
Yeah, Glassjaw was up there for me. At the Drive-In came out with an album after 15 years. That was up there for me. And the Flatliners came out with an album, and it wasn't the album I had expected from the Flatliners, but it was still really good. There were some songs on there that I played on repeat quite a bit, but it was just a little bit slower. So it didn't quite make it for me.
It was very radio friendly, the Flatliners album.
I mean, there were still some great songs, though, that reminded me of the Flatliners that I know and love.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And probably rounding out my list, probably the one that I took the most heat for leaving off of my top 10 list was Menzinger's After the Party, which everybody was gaga over. Man. And I was too. Fantastic album. It's just a little too soft for my taste.
It's like that Flatliners album. It's got some really great songs on there. In general, it's an amazing album, but
it just doesn't a different flavor than what you like. And nothing wrong with that. Again, kind of like
people went on Gaga over it, like you said.
Lady Gaga. That is a cultural reference. People know who that is, Bob. Don't look at me like I'm crazy. Lady Gaga is a real person.
Couldn't tell you.
I think she's a rapper. No clue. Look, we've fucking wasted enough time. You want to play some music?
Yes, please.
I'm sick of
Let's do
talking
this.
to you. I'm sick of your fucking mouth.
Okay.
Whoa. Let's play some music. Another one that was in my honorable mentions list, New York's Sketchy. This is Every Man Thinks They're Holden Caulfield. That was from the album Heck by Sketchy. That was Every Man Thinks They're Holden Caulfield. Next up, I'll Take the Crab Juice by Deforesters.
Breathe in the exhaust from the buses. Breathe in the exhaust from the cars. The air in this town can't be trusted. We all know that they've gone too far. The pills they don't keep, and now I'm losing sleep. You give me just one line that I can repeat. If this is the city we live in, and I can't go anywhere else. If you stay the same like a moth to a flame, can say I'm much better myself. So countless the nights spent that summer, we drank until last call again. The thirst that I feel can't be quenched now. Do you feel the same way, my friend? The pills they don't keep, and now I'm losing sleep. You give me just one line that I can repeat. If this is the city we live in, and I can't go anywhere else. If you stay the same like a moth to a flame, can say I'm much better myself. The homeless men drink on the corner, Listerine cocktails again. I see news, I get a new age now. Then I would ask, was it worth it, my friends? The pills they don't keep, and now I'm losing sleep. You give me just one line that I can repeat.
That was from the album Leonard by Deforesters. I'll Take the Crab Juice. That was a Simpsons reference, right, Bob?
It was.
I know
indeed.
you've been dying to play it. Play the fucking sound bit.
Now, why do you have to wash that awful taste out of my mouth?
Mountain Dew or crab juice?
Ugh! Oh, jeez. I'll take a crab juice.
Are you happy now?
I am.
Did you get it out of your system?
Yes, I
Can we
did.
proceed with the show?
I'm going to play it one more time.
I'll take a crab juice.
You immature bastard. Can we proceed with the show now?
Yes, we can.
Fucker. Next up, the Menzingers telling lies. From the LP After the Party, that was Telling Lies from the Menzingers. Now we're ready to get into the 10 through 6 spots on our list, Bob.
All right.
What do I got here first? Oh, starting off my list with some fucking ska.
Yes.
You can't go wrong with that, right? Some feel-good ska. Southern ska at that. You really don't get a lot of ska bands that hail from the South, but this one is from Louisiana. Joystick.
Right where we are,
Joystick with the album Sinceriously.
Okay, that makes sense.
Really fucking fun,
Yeah.
man. I'd put that shit on Sunday mornings, strip off all my clothes, hop on the Roomba, and fucking ride around the living room. The neighbors loved it. Yeah, I'd open up the windows. The neighbors got a full view. It was incredible. But yeah, fucking fun album. Ska always just hits you right, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Whenever you're feeling bad, put on a good ska
How
album.
many people do they have in their band? Like 8?
No, I think last time they counted it was about 84.
There's not 84 people in their band.
I think it was maybe 80, 82.
No. They're a big ska band.
The picture, their band picture, was on a sectional sofa, and it was completely full. So, like one of those L-shaped sofas.
Yep.
Every cushion full.
They'll be a fun band to see when they come out to LA.
Yeah, come out to LA, guys. Get out of the fucking swamps down there in New Orleans.
There's some good bands in New Orleans, man. Pairs, Mad Conductor, right? Dude from No Cash is in Mad Conductor.
I'll stick with you up to No Cash.
Yeah. MC Devlin, Buckwheat Growth, something like that.
But yeah, if you like our neighborhood heroes here, the Interrupters or Vegas Act, Be Like Max, you would really like Joystick. So check them out if they're not on your list. Who do you got, Bob?
All right, coming in at number 10 for me is Braincoats.
On my mind, there's nothing really on my mind. A broken record spinning all the time. There's nothing really on my mind.
Braincoats.
Braincoats.
Yes, 12 reasons for self-medication.
What a fucking excellent name for an album.
12 songs, 12 reasons for self-medication.
I really need 0 reasons for self-medication, but good job for you guys for coming up with 12.
Don't we all? Yeah, this album was a nice pop punk, straightforward, catchy, simple, to the point album. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed their last album. I enjoy this one. Good job, guys. Keep it up, and we'll look forward to the next one. Coming in at number 9 for me, The Moms.
I've been drinking gin and pink lemonade, calling all my exes to see how they get laid, calling my employees.
The Moms.
Fuck yeah.
We're doing Asbestos We Can.
More Jersey punk, and they're clever little Jersey punks
More
at that.
clever names. Doing Asbestos We Can.
I get it. Move along.
So this album came out this year. They also released a 4-track EP this year that came out.
Yeah, that's right. Earlier in the year, right?
Yeah. A lot different. 2 really different albums that came out. One 4-song EP that was very punk rock. The full-length album that came out wasn't as punk, still had some heavy full songs on there. It was a lot slower and more mellow than I had hoped for, but it's still a really good album.
It's definitely more mellow.
Yes,
but yeah,
it was.
As far as the musicality of it, very tight.
Yep, very tight. So check that one out. What about you? Coming in at number 9 for you, AP.
What do I got here? Number 9, Voice of Addiction.
Can you remember where you were when the blue eyes came? Nothing did no drink and then you threw all the music. Where were you?
Voice of Addiction.
All right.
Out of Chicago. Oh, man. Lost Art of Empathy. Really good political punk, which, you know, I'm already hooked.
It was a good year for it.
You could just say fuck Trump or fuck Bush. I don't even fuck Obama. Fuck them all. Fuck the government. Burn down the White House, and you got me. That could be a song. That could literally be a song.
I think we're on to something.
And I would listen to it and probably put it in the top 10.
Yeah. You know what? I think NoFX did it.
I'm sure they have. But yeah, any kind of political anti-establishment punk is always going to get me. Really great flow from track to track on this LP. I like the way the layout of the songs really flowed well. Yeah. So that's what clinched it for me. And they're really my surprise of the year. Not really on my radar before 2017, and they just came out with it.
That's the great thing about this podcast.
I'm
you
telling
find new
you.
shit all the time.
And you guys keep sending in shit. I have so many emails in my inbox. I'm going to get to you all, I promise. After that, let's head up north. Great White North. Mobina Galore.
You're 17, the world just doesn't understand you anymore. You're 24.
Mobina Galore.
Yes.
God damn.
Yes.
these young ladies can make some fucking noise.
Yeah.
2 of them. There's only 2 of them.
2 gals.
Sounds like there's at least 4.
Yep.
It took me 2 or 3 listens to actually figure out that they don't have a bass.
They did a really good job of creating deep tones on their album.
Yeah, and not to mention just the passion that they have. You know, the album is fucking an onslaught. I don't use that word lightly. You've never heard me use that word, but fuck, it's just brutal. It doesn't stop from track 1 to fucking track 12, I think it is.
Yeah.
Shit, just straight through.
Yeah, you got me hooked on them when we played them on here a few podcasts ago. I think it was like 3 episodes ago or something.
It's a cacophony of sound.
All right, you and those big words.
You like that?
You're going to have to get educated.
What do you got coming in next?
All right, coming in at number 8 for me is Sorrytown's Blanket Fort. Sorrytown's Blanket Fort. So I would argue that this is probably the slowest album on the list.
I don't think you need to argue that.
Yeah.
I'll agree off the bat.
Some of you might not enjoy that, but I really enjoyed it. You know what? They started off with a hard song, and that's what caught me. So I'm hoping, that's what would catch you too about this album. They started off with a really hard, quick punk rock song, and then they immediately slowed it down. But the album in general was really beautiful, well thought out. It becomes really heavy at parts. It gets really hard at parts. If you're a fan of Crime in Stereo, I really think you'll dig this one. So check it out, Sorrytown's Blanket Fort. Coming in at number 7, Fitness. Fitness released an EP called Puppet Show and Fitness. So this one was up there for me. Not an LP, but an EP. So guys, give me an LP next year, please. Or this year, 2018.
If you put out an LP, I guarantee that album would have made Bob's top 3.
Yes. So switching back to you, what do you have coming in at number 7?
Let's see. Rounding out my top, well, I guess bottom 5 in this case. Northern California's Decent Criminal. Decent Criminal. Okay. They put out a new LP, Bloom.
Yep.
A lot more mature than their last album.
Yep.
Had a completely different feel. That was really good. Surprise album. Another one that was kind of a surprise.
Indeed.
Not so much the band, like Voice of Addiction I hadn't really heard of. Decent Criminal I had, and just didn't like them quite as much. And this year with Bloom really blew my socks off.
They went from like surf punk to like punk.
Yeah.
Punk.
Yeah. Yeah. And they'll tell us differently, but we know what's really up.
Yeah.
After that, rounding out at number 6 was Wasted Potential. Wasted Potential. Nothing to say on that one except it fucking melted my face more than any other album.
The album
probably
is
in the
called
last
Living
5
Up
years.
to the Name.
Living Up, which is a perfect name for a band called Wasted Potential.
Yeah.
But fuck, man, face melter extraordinaire. I would definitely recommend that to anybody that just wants to put music on and fucking 100% Tony Hawk Pro Skate.
All right, coming in at number 6 for me is Heart Attack Man, the Manson Family.
I can never tell if I should take the things you say with a shaker of salt or just a single grain.
Heart Attack Man, the Manson Family. This is another slow one, not quite as slow as Sorrytown. It's got a nice medium pace to it, but really catchy. A lot of hooks in this. The guitars in this full length just rip all the way through. If you're a fan of Joyce Manor, you'll really enjoy this. I don't think the vocals...
Isn't a fan of Joyce Manor.
Right? I mean, I don't know. I think they're spectacular. They don't ever quite get as hard as some of the Joyce Manor vocals do or can. Their old albums used to. Their newer ones don't quite as much. A little softer singing, but still just as good and still a lot of hooks. So check out Heart Attack Man's Manson Family.
And that's it?
Yes.
You just rounded out your top 5.
Yep.
Bottom 5.
Yep.
See, it kind of depends on how you look at it. That's kind of the glass half full, glass half empty thing.
Yeah, it's so subjective.
Enough of your subjective nonsense. How about some more music, man?
all right.
You want to play something from our 10 through 6s?
Absolutely.
All right. Let's start it off with Voice of Addiction. This one's from the album The Lost Art of Empathy, Dead by Dawn.
Just when you thought you'd seen it all, it gets so dark before the dawn. 'Cause every day I learn something new that makes me I've been holding all my life through the line between wrong and right. Wrenched in the struggle and the strife, I fight for breath every night. I've been holding all my life through the line between wrong and right. Wrenched in the struggle and the strife, I fight for breath every night. I've been
That was Voice of Addiction with Dead by Dawn. Next up, one of Bob's top 10, Sorry Town with Fabricate.
Fabricate your pack. It's the stand around better. You write a better record. On everyone alone. Fabricate your problems. Make it better, you can solve them. When you never blows and cries. Feel like you're so wise. Fabricate your status. Like you already have it. I'm sure if you get it. Get it in between the lyrics. Fabricate your kindness. It'll make your parents so proud. When you sing your praises so loud. And you're bound to be applauded. And now you love their voice. Fabricate a new job. So you can work your ass off. So you can take my time off. Tell me how hard it's been. Fabricate your income. As if you barely have one. As if you think you have none. It'll make a better outcome. Fabricate a new life. Forget about the old times. Forget about car rides. How much they meant. Fabricate some new friends who only speak when you ask them. Through the same fabricated lens. Everyone's amused to your end. Well, fuck
That was from the album Blanket Fort, Sorry Town with Fabricate. Next up, Louisiana ska band Joystick with Mary Kitchen. That was Mary Kitchen from the album Sin Seriously from Joystick. Next up, heading to the Great White North, Mobina Galore with Going Out Alone.
You're afraid to be alone. You're afraid they don't understand you. If you're on, then I'll run with you. I could be everything you need. Here's the feeling separate from the ones that said that they would save you going out alone. The days it takes to find yourself and go for someone who can save you from going out alone. We'll make promises to keep. We'll make a place and call it home. If you close your eyes, you'll know. With all that hearts and got our sleeves. Here's a feeling separate from the ones that said that they would save you going out alone. The days it takes to find yourself and go for someone who can save you going out alone. Lead me away, I'll follow. Lead me away, I'll follow. Here's a feeling separate from the ones that said that they would save you going out alone. The days it takes to find yourself and go for someone who can save you going out alone. Going out alone. Going out alone. For someone who can save you going out alone.
From the album Feeling Disconnected, that was Going Out Alone by Mobina Galore. Those ladies can make some fucking noise, huh, Bob? Next up, Rock the Boat from New Jersey punkers, The Moms. rock the boat off of the album, doing the bestest we can from the Moms. Next up, NorCal act Nothington, already there.
We were scared. You had no place to run. You were beginning. I was already there. This place we called ocean became dark and out of control. This place we called ocean became somewhere nothing would grow. We were scared. There were problems laid out on my door. I don't even know if my keys will work anymore. You said all along you were too blind, but now I can see. Thanks, now it's all on the table. I know what I need. You know I was already there from the start of this. It's already there. It's already there. You know I was already there from the start of this. It's already there. And you don't care. Farewell. I had put you on a pedestal so high. You had no place to lie. We were scared. You were scared. You know I was already there from the start of this. It's already there. It's already there. You know I was already there from the start of this. It's already there. You don't care. Farewell.
That was Nothington from the album In the End. Already there. Already sneaking into the top 5.
Yep.
God, I tell you, Jay and Chris could probably shit on a biscuit, and I would put that in my top 10 albums of the year.
Shit on a biscuit.
Shit on a biscuit. Or a Triscuit.
It's like chicken on a biscuit.
It's nothing
Chicken
like...
in a biscuit.
It's chicken in a biscuit.
Okay, well,
But
that's disgusting,
shit on a
nonetheless.
biscuit is nothing like that.
Yeah, you have very low standards.
More like feces on a biscuit.
well.
So, but I don't even care. I would take Jay and Chris shit on a biscuit, put it in the top 10, top 5.
All right.
Because that's where Nothington's In the End came
up
in.
your standards, please.
Up yours, Anders. How's your top 5 looking, Bob? What do you got? What do you got on number 5?
All right, coming in at number 5, we got Casual Fridays, A Weekend Forever.
Feels like the dust would settle in, and money just the objects next to where I sleep.
Casual Fridays, A Weekend Forever. This was another great pop punk album. Super catchy, a lot of great hooks. Vocal melodies were on par. I really, really enjoyed a lot of the yelling that came in the background. It wasn't too much of it, but I need a little energy, you know?
Yeah,
I need
fuck
some
yeah.
screaming, I need some yelling.
Fuck yeah.
And it's super high energy, and I enjoy this album quite a bit. So coming in at number 5 was Casual Fridays, Weekend Forever. Number 4 was Oliver Houston's Whatever Works.
Yeah.
Bark in the branch, stick it to the man.
Houston's Whatever Works.
Yeah.
Yes. And so when I get to number 4, this is where any one of my albums could easily be a number 1. They all feel so different from one another. And I mean, the preference just became based on like what I really like and what my roots are. So Oliver Houston's Whatever Works is, it's kind of like a math rock or a mathcore album with punk rock in it. Okay. So like, the bass, the vocals, and the drums are really punk rock, but the guitar's got a lot of like, I don't know, really catchy, beautiful guitar laid over this punk rock. And, you know, the drums catch up with that quite a bit, too, into math rock. It reminds me of this band I used to listen to in 2003 called Monine.
You said you know me. You know nothing at all. You said you hate me, well believe.
Monine. They were kind of ahead of their time, a little bit punk rock, probably a little more like emo-ish.
You got some obscure fucking references, dude.
Dude, check out Monine's. I'm like really happy with who we are.
I know this one band called Bad Religion.
Oliver Houston was great, though. I really enjoyed that album. Again, it's number 4, but it could have been my number 1. I know you said you dug it too. What was your number 4?
Coming in at number 4 for me, Northern New York's ska core superstars, Stupid Henchmen.
All right.
I'm breaking all these copies of my doors just to see if this midnight is material is the reason I'm this drunk. So I'm going another night so I can lie.
Stupid Henchmen.
All right.
I plug these guys probably more than anybody else has ever plugged these guys. Chill Out and Die Later is the album name. Fucking incredible variety on the album. You got so much diversity. You got ska core, folk, straight up ska, pop punk, so many different genres rolled into one. I think it was 14, 15 tracks across the album, and every one was a little bit different than the other. So much fucking replay value on that.
Yeah.
And I think if I know the guys correctly, they probably put it up for Name Your Price. So go on there and give them a couple bucks and you get 14 or 15 songs that are just dope as shit.
It's an awesome album. Check it
I
out.
love those guys. I'm probably their biggest fan. I'm going to go out on them and say I'm their biggest fan. Send me a t-shirt. Coming in at number 3 for me, which you were wise. You followed the rules and you docked points to Fitness for putting out an EP.
Okay.
I said, fuck it. The EP was so fucking good that I put it at number 3 on my list of top 10 albums of
Breaking
the year.
the law.
Breaking the law, indeed. Fuck, man. Fitness is incredible.
Yeah.
The only drawback to this album was that it wasn't an LP. And we're going to beg you guys incessantly to put out a full length. And if I hear things correctly, they're actually going to be going on a West Coast tour in the next couple months. Springtime. Look for them to go on a West Coast tour. Not saying they will, just saying I heard that might be a possibility.
Check them out.
Definitely check them out because, damn, if they're good enough to make top 3 with an EP, then they're definitely good enough for you.
Absolutely.
What do you got? Where are we with you? Number 3. What do you got at 3?
Number 3, I've got Single Mothers.
That night I fell into the pharmacy. I thought I was in a lucid dream. So I burned a tat, anything that you could ever need.
Single Mothers, Our Pleasures. This full length was fucking fantastic. Again, could have been number 1 for me. I don't know if you checked this out or not, but this album reminded me of a band I used to listen to in back in like 2000, 2003.
Here we go.
Adam and His Package.
We're gonna tear this stupid city down, throw our trash on the ground. The parades that follow on liquor. Oh, I get it. Anarchy means
Adam and His Package.
Oh, I know that one. That's not too obscure.
Awesome, yes.
But that's Philly, so.
Yeah, there's something about the way, I mean, this guy has to be completely influenced. I wonder if Single Mothers is from Philly or what. I don't know that much about them, but this album was amazing. Clearly influenced by Adam and His Package. If not, I mean, what an amazing coincidence, because the way he delivers his vocals, the sarcasm and the lyrics and the tone, all of that stuff is fucking awesome. It's Adam and His Package. My minus the electronic aspect. It's just a lot more
less keyboard.
Yeah, less keyboard, a lot more punk hardcore to it. I really fucking enjoyed this album. So keep it up. Check out Single Mothers, Our Pleasures. And that is my number 3. Coming in at number 2, this is a band we have already mentioned tonight. It is my number 2. I thought it was fucking fantastic. It could have been number 1. Decent Criminals Blue.
Yes. Can't go wrong with Santa Rosa Boys.
No, and you know what? Again, as you mentioned earlier, as we both mentioned, they really changed their style from the last album. But there's so much hook to it, man. Their lead guitar riffs are fucking fantastic. There's a lot of vocal melodies that are really catchy. A lot of lyrics that really hook me. Even the last song on the album, it's I get there every time I get to the last song, and I enjoy it through and through. So.
They're impeccable. They're
Absolutely.
really one of the more finely tuned bands.
Yes.
In the genre.
I think this is only their second album. I know they were together as sort of a different name before this, but they got a whole new lineup, and this has been great.
Yeah.
So that is my number 2.
Great work, lads.
Check it out. Enjoy it. What about you? What do you have coming in at number 2?
Well, now is when we get into the ones that are probably all fan favorites. I doubt there's a top 10 list out there that didn't include Warriors from Bad Cop, Bad Cop.
It's been a while, but I'm coming back again. Experience all I am. Diametric.
The ladies in Bad Cop, Bad Cop just keep smashing them out of the park every year. And I think as far as Fat Records bands, present day Fat Records bands, I don't think there's anybody doing it better than these ladies right now.
That's debatable.
I'll let you debate it. I'll go all day long.
I've got Pears.
I'll go all day long.
Fucking love Pears.
I'm sure you do.
Yes.
No, but I mean, the music itself, incredible. The writing, spectacular.
Yeah.
What other adjectives can I throw in there? Fantastic, indubitably. I don't think that's really an adjective. My favorite thing about this, though, is I enjoyed the album before one ex-podcast host, bootlicker extraordinaire, labeled it as feminist rage. I think after I knew that it was feminist rage,
Were you
I
talking
liked it.
trash about somebody?
Nah, dude, just stating facts. I spit facts. But after I knew that bootlickers labeled it feminist rage punk, I really enjoyed it more. It probably jumped up about 5 spots on my list once I figured that out. So thank you very much for that, bootlicking ex-podcast host. And then rounding out my list, I think is no surprise to anybody, if they know me at least, is Propaganda.
Feel like a dream out of the past, crushing generations with the foggy mass. I'm seething in the red unhealed wounds. I can make
Propaganda. Which,
all right.
Yeah, of course. I think we all knew that. And it's really weird because it's probably only my 4th favorite Propaganda album.
Okay.
But I think 4th best Propaganda this year is enough to come in at number 1.
Okay.
Not that the selection this year was bad or anything. It's just, it's Propaganda. They're a god level.
Can't argue with that.
No, not at all. Why would you? All right, Bob. So what do you got at number 1, man?
All right, coming in at number 1 for me, a band we already mentioned tonight. Again, your rating system is completely off.
Oh, yeah. There's no logic.
Wasted Potential's Living Up to the Name was my number 1.
Fuck yeah,
Yes.
dude. I have them at number 6, and I cannot argue them at number 1.
You can, because you know what? This album was fucking amazing. It reminded me a lot of old AFI, kind of the Black Sails era, Art of Drowning era, with a little bit more punk rock to it, which I guess was AFI prior to Black Sails. But it's not that type of punk rock. It feels a little bit different than that. They really embrace AFI at some songs on it, and they really make it their own on some other songs. So I think this was an absolutely fantastic album. There's some of the singing melodies remind me of Chiodos a little bit, which is not punk rock. I don't know if any of our listeners will know that, but or know the reference, but I really enjoyed it for those reasons. It's a fucking fantastic album. Very upbeat. Check it out. My number 1, Wasted Potential, Living Up to the Name.
If you want your face melted,
Yes,
listen to the album.
absolutely.
and it will give you the desired results.
Yes.
Great job, guys. Bob, another great job on your top 10 list. I'd like to
Thank
commend you on your first one.
So now, do you think I will get more votes than you?
Oh, fuck no. Let's go ahead with some songs. You want to do another block of music?
Yes.
Let's start shit off with one of yours, Oliver Houston. This is Pho.
Like the soup.
That was Pho from the album Whatever Works by Oliver Houston. Next up, Banger from Casual Friday.
Stars in the night sky, I need them to make sense of everything in a world that seems so broken. The glass is shattered on the floor of the room that we need to be walking across now, and they left this mess before us. The population negligence has left us more of everything than we were before, and our ancestors have for us. The culture's been bought out, and everybody passes out of what the future holds. And this is what I say: I can't believe in what you say. I see you by the why. You know the bullshit that you say. I can't believe the words. My words align like stars in the night sky. I need them to make sense of everything in a world that seems so broken. The glass is shattered on the floor of the room that we need to be walking across now, and they left this mess before us. I can't believe in what you say. I see you like a walk away. All the bullshit that you say. I can't believe the words. I can't believe the words you say. I see you on the walk away.
another one of Bob's top 10. That one was Casual Friday with Banger. Next up, let's keep the trend going. Bobby's number 3, Single Mothers with Long Distance.
Studying the complex, prescribed to subjects. I've been over the mood swings again. Not even sure what this should mean. It's okay, baby, it's alright. Living in your backseat, giving it some good time. I've been over the syncopation. Getting in my best, go lost in the arrangement. Run down and rolling around town, like you know what you're doing, like you know who he really is, like you know what you wanted. Just dig into my pockets. Dig into my pockets. You'll never be who you wanted. Dig into my pockets. We'll never be who you wanted. Running around back downtown, analyzing my self-esteem. It's great, it's beaming, man. I'm just a page in your self-published rag. DIY till die, man. Don't you wonder what she's up to now? Yeah, what you could have been. Don't you wonder what she's up to now? Don't you miss how she got under your skin? Dig into my pockets. Dig into my pockets. You'll never be who you wanted. Dig into my pockets. We'll never be who you wanted. Dig into my pockets. You'll never be who I wanted. Dig into my pockets. Well, I hope you know it's impossible. Digest the mess and take it to bed. Analyzing my self-esteem, it's great, it's beaming me. Run down and rolling around town, like you know what you're doing, like you know who he really is, like you know what you wanted. Run down and rolling around town, like you know what you're doing, like you know who he really is, like you know what you wanted. Dig into my pockets. Back downtown.
That one was Long Distance by Single Mothers. Next up, let's spin some stupid henchmen. This one is Keep Breathing off of the album Chill Out, Die Later. That was Stupid Henchman with Keep Breathing. Next up, one of my favorite bands of the year, Fitness with Pauly Shore.
Take back what I said, I know really what you did. No, I'm drinking in the car, if I went to the bar, if I lied about the facts, let me down in my tracks, so I lied about the fact I'm in a suicide pact. Things are gone away, and there's left to say. You wanna end it all, that's fuck of it. I wanna cease to breathe, and you're telling me you wanna end it all, that's fuck of it. I'm sad,
Puppet Show and Fitness, an EP that somehow snuck its way onto the Albums of the Year list. That was Pauly Shore by Fitness. I don't think that you and I could agree on anything more than the fact that Fitness was probably the most impactful band of the year for us.
Fitness and Wasted Potential.
Of course.
And Criminal.
Absolutely.
We had a lot of overlap.
We did, oddly enough.
Yeah.
So we had some overlap on some really cool shit, and then you just went straight garbage.
No. you liked the Oliver Houston
I do.
album.
I liked actually most of your picks. I do. And they're not my kind of music.
Yeah.
And it was great to hear another side of the story because nobody wants to hear just my shit.
No.
And nobody wants to hear just your shit.
They probably do.
Probably not. Voters, I need voters on my side. I will bribe people to vote for me just so I could beat Bob. What do you think?
I don't know if you'll get there. Good luck.
Probably not. I think people are starting to like you a little bit more than me. It really, what is this, 5-10 episodes maybe with our specials? And they're already swinging over to your side. So good job, listeners.
Most people swing this way.
You're making the right choice. I'm an asshole. Let's talk about some episodes that we have coming up. Next episode, I know we're definitely going to be talking to
Locked and Loaded,
our band that made both of our top 10 list, Decent Criminal from Santa Rosa. We ran into them at a show a couple weeks back, and we stole some of their time. We told them we were going to help them load in for stealing their time, and then we didn't do it.
I don't remember telling them that, but sorry, guys.
And then I just totally bailed on them. I was like, hey, guys, I know we're taking your time. We'll help you load in. We got our interview, and then we went and smoked weed, I think.
I bought a shirt, so I got them, 20 miles down the road.
There you go. Yeah. I didn't do I'm a cheapskate. I'm also going to be talking to the gentleman that runs Shibby Pictures. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but he does a lot of DIY videos for a lot of punk bands.
So a nice little reference to Dude, Where's My Car?
Yep, absolutely. And that's where he said he got the name from. So we're going to talk to Jack on in a week or two, and that'll be in an upcoming episode. So keep an ear to the ground for that. Cool. And we're going to try and squeeze in a couple other things if Bob can actually
let's see if I
do
can
something
snag
useful.
An interview with Mustard Plug.
Don't tease it if you're not going to get it. Now
see.
You have to get it.
We'll see.
Oh, you fucking asshole. You better get it now.
Hey, they might not even want to talk to me.
Who does?
Yeah, they might be like, fuck you, Bob.
I don't want
AP?
to talk to you. Right. Exactly. Because
That's why
they're
you should
smart
come
gentlemen.
with.
Yeah, we'll see. Long Beach is a hall. All right, Bob, let's put a bullet in this motherfucker.
Please.
Yes, please. Let's end this shit with your number one pick. Living Up to the Name by Wasted Potential. This one's Kurt Murder Face Rip. Until next time, comrades, be safe.
Adios. This was another nice pop.
It's hard, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's really hard.
I defy you to leave that in.
Hard.